Welcome back to another video, sending out a lot of love, ladies and gentlemen. This is the best spell of every level in D&D. Yeah, I don't think I have any more than that. Subscribe if you want to be a part of the Lunar Dynasty app. Upload every single day. If you want to send me videos, I think you know the drill. All links to all my stuff down below. I'm going to cast Modify Memory, and you did not remember any of that happening.
Here's the best spell.
Oh, shout out. Boom. Shout out to D&D Shorts for the video. Since, yeah, you know, if you want me to take down my video, of course, I'll take it down. Wink.
Of every level in D&D. Cantrips.
Eldritch Blast! I knew it.
So here's the thing, if you have to sell your fucking soul for a cantrip, it's probably pretty good. Eldritch Blast deals 1d10 at a range of 120 feet, just like the cantrip Fire.
What a way to put that. If you gotta sell your soul for a literal cantrip, it's probably fucking good.
Firebolt. Also, just like Firebolt, it deals more damage as you level up. At level 5, it's dealing 2d10. At level 11, it's dealing 3d10, etc. But unlike Firebolt, Eldritch Blast lets you split each d10 among different targets, and it also deals a better damage type, Force. However, Eldritch Blast is really the best because no other spell has an entire class built around it. Warlock invocations take this cantrip and stick so many fireworks up its ass, it becomes the second most versatile spell in the game.
Eldritch Blast. And when in doubt, Eldritch Blast it out. I think I want to watch it at like a faster speed. I think I'm just come accustomed to watching things at like slightly faster speeds now. Well, like in actual videos. I've done it outside videos, but now I'm just doing it during videos. But isn't I think I've heard also that Eldritch Blast is also like the damage type it is, force damage, makes it really like a really good spell or cantrip spell. Cantrips are spells that you could use without expending a spell slot. Yeah, there we go. So it is still a spell. Had to bring my knowledge back from everything I've learned in a short amount of time. But it's there's not a lot of things resistant to force damage, is what I remember.
After which, now sure, Guidance might be the mathematically best cantrip, because that spell is insane. But Eldritch Blast is arguably on the same level of power and way more fun, thanks to the whole build your own war crime thing you can do with the Warlock invocations. First level,
Guidance
Find Familiar. Find Familiar is the highest value spell in D&D. For a first level ritual, it summons a spirit that takes the form of an animal from this list. You can command it, communicate with it telepathically, look through its eyes, and even cast spells with the range of touch through it. It can also take any
okay, so for Critical Role people, was this Frumpkin?
Action, aside from the attack
that
action.
was Frumpkin, right? I'd be slow to not know that, right? I guess I'm slow. I'm pretty sure that was Frumpkin. I'm pretty sure. I'm just going to confirm it myself right now.
Which includes help. This can give you advantage on a ton of different ability checks or on melee attacks, which is already nuts. Then it can scout, stealth, trigger traps, create a distraction, or just be adorable. And then you've also got to give a nod to the roleplay. D&D is, at the end of the day, a game about immersing yourself in a story and a character. Having an animal companion is...
The Find Familiar can get kicked into a million pieces, into a poof of smoke, since some of them have like 1 HP.
It's amazing for this. Try not getting invested in your character when you have a pet weasel called Pop-Tart. It is impossible. 2. Invisibility. Wow. Didn't see that one coming. So invisibility is obviously great when it comes to hiding and sneaking in D&D. Stealthing around, stealing stuff, running away, it's all good, and you can cast it on the whole party at higher levels. Now granted, the invisibility ends early if you attack or cast a spell, but there is a little room for cheese here. If you're a Dragonborn, you can use your breath weapon and remain invisible, because it's not technically an attack. Your DM might have something to say about that, but rules is written, and according to Jeremy Crawford, this is totally legit. You can also use items that deal damage, like throwing a bead from a necklace of fireball for an invisible explosion cannon. Even if your DM says no, that would break the spell, invisibility is still fantastic for infiltration and assassination. Or just demolishing all your enemies in a surprise round with your entire party perfectly positioned for murder hoboing. Third level, Conjure Animals. This is the best third level spell if your DM isn't a total troll. Conjure Animals lets you summon a bunch of spirits in the form of beasts. You can choose what challenge rating you want the spirits to be at, and if you pick a lower challenge rating, you get more beasts to compensate. Now every DM I've ever had let players choose what beasts they got with this spell. which is insanely strong. You could just always summon 8 wolves, for example, and pack tactics your way to a furry massacre.
Yeah,
Technically, though, you don't get to choose what beasts will appear. You only get to choose what their CR will be. Still, you know, that's amazing. You get to put a ton of bodies on the board that will deal damage and eat up your enemy's attacks. Obviously, if your DM nerfs this spell by giving you trash every time, it's probably not very good. And the best 3rd level spell is probably like Revivify. I don't know. There's a lot of good 3rd level spells. 4th level.
I saw Spirit Guardians.
So I made a video. I don't know. There's a lot of good.
Fireball, Dispel Magic, Sleet Storm and Counterspell, Spirit Guardians. Yes, sir. I have seen those used in great ways. Critters, no. I've seen those used in great ways.
4th level. Polymorph. So I made a video already about how creative
Same with
and powerful Polymorph
Funny, speaking of that, Polymorph too.
can be. But it's always worth taking a moment to realize how badass this spell is. It lets you turn any target into a beast of CR equal to or less than their current level. If they resist, they need to make a wisdom saving throw in an attempt to stop the effect. This is both an insane buff for you and your friends, and an instant loss for your enemies. If you polymorph them into a spider, they're effectively beaten. If you polymorph your friend into a giant ape, they're effectively beating the shit out of everyone else.
Damage,
and now, a dick joke, brought to you by Dice Geek's Random Tables.
Is this his sponsor? Yeah, I'll go back to skip over his sponsor. No hard feelings.
Following the link below. 5th level. Wall of Force. Wall of Force conjures an invisible wall that nothing can physically pass through. It's immune to all damage, it can't be dispelled, it floats freely in the air, and it extends into the material plane. Fuck! That is excessive. Wall spells are good because they divide other fights to suit you. Are you fighting 2 powerful enemies? Boom. Wall of Force. Now you're fighting 1 powerful enemy, and you've got the other one trapped in an invisible cage watching you murder his best friend. I've seen a guy sink a galleon in a naval battle just by conjuring a wall of force right in front of the enemy ship. It's also a bridge over lava or a canyon, or an emergency shield for the entire party. Yes, I know it's not as exciting as animating 10 flying dildos with animate objects, but Wall of Force is one of those boring but powerful spells you're always grateful to have on hand. 6th level, Mass Suggestion. So Mass Suggestion lets you target up to 12 creatures and suggest a course of action that won't obviously harm them.
This is like the one you could say you were running from a group of guards and you just cast Mass Suggestion on all the guards.
Then each one makes a wisdom save, and any that fail have to do that thing. And it lasts for 24 goddamn hours, no concentration. The effect ends if you or your companions deal any damage to a target, but aside from that, it's free mind control. The only thing about this spell is that the course of action must sound reasonable. But the example the spell gives is ordering an entire squad of soldiers to give all their money to the first beggar they meet. Clearly, it doesn't need to be a smart idea or one that's even in the character's best interest. It just needs to be not suicidal. This is insanely powerful. It can just end a fight.
Probably not suicidal or not kill your friends, because they would break the mind control because they wouldn't find it reasonable. Or maybe it does work in certain situations because some of them have some hidden resentment for their friends. Some of them are some snakes.
Tell them to just go home. Also, in social situations, although a little bit unethical, mind control is a great thing to have on your side. 7th level, Simulacrum. Ah yes, the spell that lets a bard literally go fuck themselves. Simulacrum lets you create an illusory duplicate of one beast or humanoid in range for the entire casting of the spell. And bear in mind, it takes 12 hours to cast. It is exactly the same as its target, except it has half hit points, can't regain spell slots, and doesn't have its equipment. Otherwise, it's the same. It obeys your commands and is an ally to you and your party. I probably don't have to explain why.
Okay, so what I seen on the quick list pop up, seems like the requirements are a bit much, and since it can't regain spell slots, you would have to use it really for clutch situations, or also distractions. Distractions are almost infinite with it. Unless it gets into a fight or something and it has half hit points and it gets demolished. Does it get half your hit points? If you have let's say you have 50 and you'd have more by that point, right? What level was it? Fuck, I can't remember. But you'd have so say you have 100, would it have half of your hit points? So it'd have 50. Or did he say that and I completely missed that? If I did, yep, that's me. But yeah, it seems like using spells then would be clutch, but then the resource. So I'm assuming when you recast it, it gets the spell slots back. But I'm
having an additional repeatable level 13 spellcaster on your team is insane. Okay. The only drawback is the material components are quite expensive, and the Simulacrum can't gain experience or level up. 8th level, Clone. Oh, funnily enough, Immortality is pretty good. Clone grows an inert duplicate of a living creature inside a vessel over the course of 120 days. Level? Once formed, this clone lasts forever, as long as the vessel is never disturbed. Then if the caster ever dies, their soul just hops into their clone, and they're back. You've got a funky new identical body with all the same abilities. The only thing you lose is your equipment. Funny thing, Clone used to let you turn into all sorts of crazy stuff, like an adult gold dragon. You could shape change into one, clone yourself, and then you'd have a new gold dragon body to go into when you die. However, they changed it because they were afraid of our power, and now it only works on medium creatures. Cowards. The stupid thing, though, is that because of that change, you can't use Clone if you're any small race. So, bad luck if you're a halfling wizard, I guess? Damn. Only tall people get to be immortal. Fuck you, Frodo. Still, immortality is really good, but it's not quite as good as 9th level, Wish. Wish just fucking tells you in its own description that it's the best spell in the game. But to be fair, it is the best spell in the game.
Wish is the mightiest spell a mortal creature can cast. By simply speaking aloud, you can alter the very foundations of reality in accord with your desires. This is the ultimate manifestation. The basic use of this spell is to duplicate any other spell of 8th level or lower. You don't need to meet any requirements in that spell, including costly components. The spell simply takes effect. Alternatively, you can create one of the following effects in your choice.
Does so much.
You can create one object up to 25 GP in value that isn't magic. That object can be no more than 300 feet in any dimension and will appear in unoccupied space in the ground. You can allow up to 20 creatures that you see to regain all hit points. What the fuck? You can grant up to 10 creatures that you see resistance to a damage type you choose. You can grant up to 10 creatures you can see immunity to a single spell or a magical effect for 8 hours. For instance, you can make yourself and your companions immune to Lich's life drain attack.
That people constantly forget what Wish actually can do. However, Wish is not all powerful. If you wish for something too powerful, it can just not work or work in a different way to what you intended. Ooh. Still, it is the best spell in the game. But hand on heart, I really think it's only slightly better than True Polymorph, which is another insanely strong and very fun 9th level option. Remember to check out the Patreon to get awesome stuff and join in D&D games with the community, and like and subscribe. Also, check out other videos on the channel. Bye.
Yeah, man, shout out to him. There's campaign 3 popping up. I love it. Oh, man. Okay. Well, a lot of these can be, especially Polymorph. Oh man, I won't talk about the campaign for any spoilers, but I swear it was so awesome to see Polymorph used in the way it was in campaign 2, because I'm like, yo, Polymorph really can do a lot. Like, I was thinking of things that you could do with Polymorph, and they were basically done during the campaign. It was pretty awesome. As for Wish, what the fuck? What? I've never seen Wish. And then for Simulacrum, I didn't know that was an actual spell that was in the thing, because I remember they came across a person who had Simulacrums, but it's pretty cool. All right, well, thank you for sending me this. Shout out to D&D Shorts again. Whew. Sending out a lot of love to you. Oh, well, much love and light. And I will see you in the next one.